here's how I hoop it. This is a hoop I've used before in this way. And when I finished my project, all I did was cut around it. So leaving it on here, the Tacky Vilene, helps to provide grip when I'm hooping fabric. So these days I'm using Mighty hoops, the magnetic hoops, which are fantastic. But there are occasions when I'll need to use these, and this is just really a nice way to provide grip for my fabric. But anyway, that's why I left it on there. And I layer it on maybe several times if I'm doing these napkins. So eventually it gets a little thick and you'll want to just remove it with some water. But what I do is I take this Vilene, and I'm going to be doing the corners that are cut away. So this is what I'm preparing to do. This is what I would use the Tacky Vilene for. So I just stretch it and just press down to hold it in place. So the idea is to stick it to the hoop. I'll just take the extra and pull it in to help secure it. You want it to be pretty drum taut because you don't want any kind of bouncing of the Vilene when, or flexing as the needle does its thing. All right, so there we go. So it feels kind of like a drum. And I use this finger because it's more sensitive. I don't want to be doing it with one of my stronger fingers. If it feels tight to this finger, that's kind of a good gauge. Oh, that's a little bit puckered right there, so I'm going to pull that a little more. And you can reposition. That's the nice thing about the Tacky Vilene. And the one that's on the roll will be quite a bit more tacky. I just didn't want to cut a new piece when I had all these pieces already done, and I can make it work. But for you, if you're doing this the first time, just use a fresh piece. I don't think anybody's got their Vilene all cut up like I do, so it will be much easier for you if you just use a fresh piece. There we go. Now I'm ready to put the hoop together. So this is really the inner hoop. And this is for the multi-needle machines. So if you have a single needle, there would be a different piece. The smaller piece will be the one that goes inside. I think that's generally how it works for the single needle machines. So this was adjusted for something else. So I don't put the hoop on and then start tightening because it's just not a good habit to get into, because when you're hooping fabric, it will, when you start doing this, it'll bunch up the fabric right here when you think you've got it nice and smooth, and that's not good. So just remove it, and normally I would test it before I hoop my stabilizer, and if it hoops kind of snug, just a hair allowance for the stabilizer, depending on what stabilizer you're using. So that feels pretty snug. I mean, it could go a little tiny bit more. Let's do that again. It should take a little bit of pressure and then slide right in. Shouldn't be so tight that you're fighting it. Okay, and these will be nice and flush, and it's ready for the machine.